Today we cover the weighted and algorithm for information retrieval. We start with a list of documents each containing some terms. Our goal is to return the documents that matches certain combinations of terms. Formally, we assign a non-negative weight to each keyword, and we wish to find documents whose combined weights from all keywords is at least as large as some threshold. The first step is to build a data structure that maps each term to a list of document identifiers where that term appears. This is called an inverted index. The example on the screen shows what the inverted index looks like for our small set of 4 documents. Then, we can forget about the documents and solve the problem using only the inverted index. Let's walk through a concrete example. Assume we are given this inverted index, and the document IDs are already sorted. We maintain one running pointer for each term that starts at the beginning of their arrays. The algorithm maintains 2 additional pointers, a pivot document ID and a current document ID. Say the weights of terms foo, bar and cat are 0.1, 0.2, and 0.1. And say the threshold is 0.3. In each iteration, we first sort the terms based on their document IDs at the running pointer. Then, we find a pivoting term, defined to be the first term whose cumulative sum of weights from itself and all previous terms passes the threshold. We then update the pivoting document ID. Then, 3 different cases can arise. Let's go through them one by one. If the pivot is greater than the current document ID, and the first term's pointer points to a document with ID smaller than the pivot, then we pick any term previous to the pivoting term and increase its pointer, so that it points to a ID no smaller than the pivot. If the pivot is greater than the current document ID, and the first term's pointer points to a document with ID equal to the pivot, then we can add the pivot ID to the output and increase the current document ID to be the pivot. If the pivot is no greater than the current document ID, we will pick any term up to the pivoting term and increase its pointer so that it points to a ID larger than the current document ID. Finally, in this iteration we cannot find a valid pivot. This indicates we are done. The algorithm returned documents 2 and 7 as matches. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.